everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Fatima. In today's video I'm going to talk about the 5 very common style mistakes that are made in the workplace that can make an outfit look really outdated and quite frumpy, and the simple swaps that can change that outfit to look more polished and modern. Now, I've worked in an office environment for most of my career, and these are the key mistakes, in my opinion, that I've seen that can really make outfits look stuck in the 90s, quite frumpy and really outdated. And if I'm being quite honest, I have seen them mainly in women like over the age of 40 that are kind of haven't updated their styles along with the times, that are kind of still wearing the same colours and the same textures together. And the good news is that a few simple changes can make such a difference to the way that the outfit looks, bringing it up to the times, making it look more modern and polished, and more important than anything, making you feel more confident about yourself. So in today's video, I'm going to talk through the 5 main style mistakes. I'm going to show you a number of illustrations that shows you the dated look, and then the style swaps that will then kind of convert into the more polished outfits, and I will show a before and after so you can visibly see the differences. So mistake number 1 are tops left untucked over trousers or skirts. This is one that I saw all the time, whether the tops over the trousers were tight tops or whether they were baggy tops. And I actually think that most women do this because they think by leaving the top untucked, it's going to hide maybe a problem tummy area, where in actual fact, I feel like it makes that area look worse and draws more attention to that area. Let's first look at tight tops. A lot of women actually wear really tight jersey tops pulled over trousers. These create unsightly bulges over the waistband and belt. I mean, to be honest, these thin jersey materials will cause bulges in even the slimmest person. But even with a thin jersey top, it will still look better tucked in, because first of all, it gives your waist some definition. You automatically avoid the bulges caused by your waistbands and belts. And it also follows a rule of thirds and gives you better proportions rather than cutting you in the middle. Now, the example I showed you was a very thin jersey material. In reality, if I was going to wear a tight top tucked into my trousers, I would choose a much thicker fabric, and a fabric that will give me much more support. And even if you are larger in the middle, I honestly feel that that would look better than the top pulled over your trousers. All I would say in that case is that if you are, for example, an apple shaped, I would avoid really high-waisted trousers. I would wear slightly more mid-waisted trousers, and the key thing here is make sure that the trousers are not really tight around the tummy area. So from the waistband, they should be more flowing trousers, maybe like a wide leg trousers, so they actually just skim over your tummy area and disguise it rather than emphasize it. Now, tight tops are quite obvious, but even with looser fabrics, it can still create a really unflattering silhouette. That's because you can see no separation between the bust and the waist, especially if you are like an apple shape. It just almost blends into one, especially if you look from a side view. However, a simple French tuck can bring the definition back into the waist. I honestly feel that keeping tops untucked isn't a good way to hide problem areas. It actually draws more attention to your problem areas and gives you a really unbalanced silhouette. The second style mistake I see quite often is wearing the same baggy cardigan over every outfit. This, I think, is a really common one. It's usually done to either, again, cover up and hide problem areas, or just as something to put on to keep you warm in the office, especially if you've got air conditioning, which I completely understand, and cardigans can work. But when they become the automatic third piece, they can make outfits look really tired and shapeless. If you've watched my channel before, you would have heard me talk about the kind of problem of wearing just one coat in winter over every outfit, because that's the first thing people see, and the coat is the outfit. And the same principle applies to when you're wearing that same cardigan over every outfit, especially when you've got like a really nice outfit on underneath, because the first thing that you're going to see is going to be that shapeless cardigan. The fix for this is quite simple, and there are numerous ways that you can achieve this. First of all, you can swap the cardigan for something with a bit more structure. For example, a blazer, which provides structure and brings the whole outfit together. Or if you prefer to wear a cardigan, wear something that works with the rest of your outfit. For example, a slightly more cropped cardigan. And this is really great if you don't want to tuck your top, because you can leave your top untucked, especially a white layer under your cardigan, and just showing that little bit of white really freshens up the outfit, but at the same time hides that tummy area. And if you are wearing a cardigan because you're feeling a little bit more chilly in the office, then there are also other things that you can do. For example, if you've seen my fashion hacks videos before, you will have seen that I did a hack where wearing a shirt under a knit, which I think always looks really modern and elegant. And to keep the shirt down, I added a vest top on top of that to create a smooth layer, and that gives you a couple of extra layers, but still looks more put together than wearing a shapeless cardigan. Or alternatively, if you were wearing a shirt, for example, you can wear a tank top or a long sleeve layering piece underneath and use the safety pin hack to hide that. All of these provide a much better silhouette than having a shapeless cardigan over your outfit. Okay, so moving on to mistake number 3, and that's the visible panty line. This is one of the small details that can completely ruin an otherwise polished outfit. And this is one that I'm not going to show you an example of me wearing myself, but I will show you some cutouts of what I mean. And honestly, even the perkiest little bottom with a visible panty line cutting the bottom in half can create some really unsightly bulges. And to be honest, I can't really believe that this is still a very common mistake, and it looks a lot worse under really tight, clingy fabrics, especially thinner fabrics. To be honest, once you notice them, they're actually quite hard to unsee. Now, I'm not going to say that everybody needs to wear thongs. I know people find thongs really, really uncomfortable, but choosing underwear that is seamless is an absolute must. If I'm not going to be wearing thongs, then rather than like a brief, I would much prefer shorts, because they kind of sit under your bottom line rather than cutting your bottom line in the middle. And some of the most comfortable ones, I have to admit, and the ones that are pretty much invisible under clothing, are the ones from Skims. I honestly have tried loads, and I think they are so comfortable. You almost forget that you're wearing them. I've actually got them in the thongs and I've got them in the shorts, and they really, really feel great. I know they're a little bit more expensive, but in my opinion, they're definitely worth the money. Other places I would recommend are, and I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce this right, but Intimissimi, the Italian underwear shop. They do some really great seamless underwear as well. I will also mention a few others in the description box that I use, but honestly guys, have a look at the back view if you're wearing your visible undies under your tight kind of trousers or skirts, and see the silhouette and the bulges they can create. It really is a good idea to try to avoid them, because you really don't want somebody looking at your bottom for all the wrong reasons. The 4th style mistake is wearing one pair of dark shoes with all your outfits. Black shoes without a doubt can be really practical, but they can also make some of your outfits look really harsh. And I honestly believe that shoes can either make or break an outfit. You can see in the first example how the black shoes do nothing for this outfit. It makes an otherwise lovely outfit look really dated and dull. However, swap them for a pair of nude heels, and that light colour completely changes the look of the whole outfit. Even better, if your workplace allows, is to add a simple pair of white trainers. This completely makes the outfit look more up to date and fresh. I also love the look of wearing white trainers with a work suit, especially if paired with a white t-shirt underneath. I think that can make an otherwise quite conservative suit look a lot more up to date and modern. In the next example, you can see how harsh the lighter trousers look with the black shoes compared to the nude shoes. I honestly feel that you need at least 2 colours of shoes for your workwear wardrobe. Black is fine because they work really well with some outfits, but I honestly think that it's really important to have a lighter colour also, like a nude pair would be perfect because they tend to go with pretty much everything in the wardrobe. And if I could only get 1 pair of shoes for the workplace, I would definitely choose a pair of nude shoes rather than a pair of black shoes. And actually, it doesn't have to be heels. If you don't want to wear heels, then change them for a pair of ballet flats, or even loafers can look equally as nice. But when keeping the colour in mind, do think about your shoes because it really does make such a difference. And the final mistake I see quite a lot of is playing it really safe with your workwear. Where, for example, a pair of black trousers, a white shirt that's too tight, and a black jacket, which in my opinion is a typical 90s office look, which now looks very dated, especially if the fabrics and colours are all very similar. So even simple changes like adding a different texture under your suit, like a silk shirt or just a white t-shirt, can really update the look. Or even adding a completely different colour blazer than the trousers, like the one I showed you in one of the previous outfits. To look smart for the office, I definitely prefer mixing textures and colours to still look professional but very put together. For example, this was a typical outfit for me: a pair of navy trousers, a silk striped shirt, and a white crisp jacket to bring the whole look together and make it really pop. Definitely looks more stylish and made me feel a lot more confident in the office. So these are the simple 5 style swaps that I feel can make an outfit look instantly more polished and modern. It's not always about buying more clothes, but more about styling what you already have in a different way. I hope you found these style swaps useful. Let me know if you see any of these in your office and if you're going to use any of the style swaps I've suggested today for your own wardrobe. And if you did like this video, then I will link another style video here that I think you'll find really useful. As usual, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I shall see you again in my next video. Take care, bye.